Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming the founder of the Clinton Global Initiative and Tyler Clinton's uncle, the 42nd President of the United States, President Bill Clinton.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to pay a special word of thanks to Dr. Wesley for pointing out that I'm here mostly as a proud uncle. Secretary of State is here with me as a proud aunt. I noticed that later in the program you're going to honor the people who are celebrating the 50th anniversary of their graduation from this high school. And I'll say more about that in a minute, but I'm only a couple of years from there. And I know my memory is not what it used to be, but I do remember that almost no one remembers who spoke at their high school commencement. And even if they remember that, almost nobody remembers what they said. They do remember, however, if they talk too long. You're here. Thank you, Dr. Wesley and the assistant principals. Thank you, Superintendent Keller. I thank the Board of Education for their service. I thank all the teachers and staff members who are here, who brought you to this day. I thank the parents and their friends, your friends, who supported building this magnificent school complex. You must be so proud of it. And we'll do a little home cooking here. I have been told to say that you would know what I mean if I say that you are about to graduate from the finest high school in the South Bay. A school with a great jazz band that had a great year. A school with the standout Marine Corps Junior ROTC. With great track and cross country teams, especially the girls cross country team, one of the best in the country. A great academic decathlon team. A yearbook and newspaper that are among the best in the nation. 4 winners of the Gates Millennium Scholarship, very rare for any high school in America. And according to my nephew, you beat Maricosta for the first time in lacrosse. And you did in football. And even your principal said it would be all right for me to rub it in a little bit. So here we are. I want to say just a couple of things that are serious. First, no matter what anybody tells you, in spite of the difficulties America and California are facing at the moment, the economic difficulties that have probably found their way into more than half the homes represented in this graduating class. A good time to be young and a good time to be in America. And our future is going to be fine if you do the right thing. For all the problems we face today, and the time it's taking to get over them, your country is the youngest big economy on earth. We're younger than Europe. We're younger than Japan. 20 years from now, we'll be younger than China. And as long as we keep being diverse like this class, as long as America looks more and more like our economic future will be strong, as long as the young are also prepared. 90% of this class are going on either to a 2- or 4-year college education. Many of the rest of you are going into the military or going into a family business. Here's what you need to know. The unemployment rate in America among people with college degrees is half that of those without. And that more and more people who have a specialized skill, which may not require a 4-year degree, are finding good jobs. If you want to have choices, you have to be able to exercise those choices. The great thing about being alive and young today is that a higher percentage of people than ever before actually get to decide what they do for a living. Most of the people who have ever lived on Earth, and about half the people alive today on Earth, have no choice about what they do when they grow up. They just work at whatever's at hand to feed themselves and hopefully establish a family and raise children. You've got those choices. You need to make them. To make them in the way that's best for you, the more you know, the more choices you'll have, the freer you'll be, and the stronger our common future will be. So this is a good thing you've got today. Keep building on it. Make it a commencement, a beginning, not a graduation, an end. Second thing I want to say is this, and I'll bet you the 50th reunion people would corroborate this. Most high schools have a reunion about every 5 years. My class did, and I have only missed one. In 48 years, I have missed one. Here's what I know. The saddest of my classmates are not those who have failed. I've got friends who've been bankrupt a couple of times, who've got lost elections, including me, who have had all kinds of other challenges in life. And sadly, so when you leave here, don't be afraid to fail. Failure can be a good thing. If you fail trying to do something good and noble and honorable, if you fail trying to follow your heart, if you fail doing something you believe in, you will still wind up in a place you never dreamed, better than you would have been on otherwise. Do not be afraid. Go out and live your dream. It's a privilege you have that a lot of people haven't. Go for it. The final thing I want to say is this. After this is over, I will have the honor of going to a little fundraiser for the Redondo Beach Education Foundation. And I want to say something about that. That is a private organization, a non-governmental organization of people who raise private money to help support these public schools. That is the way for the future. Everywhere in America where things are doing well, different kinds of people are working together, and you have both a strong, effective government, that's what a public school is, and a vibrant private sector. You read too much today about all these fights. You live in a world where what works is cooperation and teamwork. If you have great individual ability, it can still only be manifested if you're on a good team. A school that's a good team. A science club that's a good team. A lacrosse team that's a good team. All the individual ability in the world can only be realized in good teams. The people that are working together in the world today are doing better. The people that are in constant conflict are doing worse. You remember that. We live in a world where all the walls are being torn down. We live in a world where You can get on the internet and so can your younger brothers and sisters, and in 30 seconds, you can find out things I had to go to college to learn. I saw the other day some college student said, well, we may not be spending as much time studying as our parents did because we find stuff so much faster. And it's really true. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to use it to pick fights or build bridges? You going to use it to feel like you're better than somebody else or make a new friend? You going to use it to re-argue age-old questions or to ignore them and build a brighter future? That's a decision you have to make. You'll have to make it every day. Are the things that are different about you things that matter and make your life more important and free you to work with people who are different? Or do they force you to stand apart? That's the number one question in the world today. The number one challenge in America today. What's more important, our differences or our common humanity? I'll close with just a simple little bit of modern science. I spent a lot of your parents' tax money when I was president to sequence the human genome so we could learn the basic building blocks of human life. There are 3.6 billion of them in our body. Guess what the most important thing we found was? If you look around this vast crowd today, every single difference you see that is not age-related, height, body shape, eye color, skin color, everything is found in the one half. Now, don't you think it's interesting? And it's not just you. Believe me, old geezers like me, we do the same thing. We spend 99.5% of our time obsessing on the 0.5% of us that's different, and almost no time thinking about the 99.5% of us that we share in common with every other living person. You got to build a future we can all share, a team we can all be on, a prosperity we can all claim, a range of jobs we can all do, a future for children you can all have. So just think about that. You have freedom today. The more education and skills you have, the more freedom you'll have. Secondly, the more successful individuals find themselves on good teams where we work together instead of being in constant conflict. Thirdly, happiness is found by being grateful for what's unique about you and being humble enough to know that the most important thing is what we all share. That's the future you can build. It's the future you see in the diversity and uniqueness of this wonderful class. It's the past you've had on this field and in those buildings that people willingly paid for, including people who did not have children in this school. We are condemned to share the future. What we are not condemned to do is have it be a miserable one. It can be the brightest, best time in the history of this country because of you. And you have to claim it. Good luck, and God bless you.